tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NXT Takeover London after show right here on AfterBuzz TV. It's 2 hours and 23 minutes since Takeover went off the air, and it was such an incredible show. Smiling at my phone while I was watching it like an idiot, and so good. I'm Cathy Kelley. Joining me, as always, the Hobo.
Thank you guys for the well wishes. I was very disappointed to be as ill as I was, but I am recovering now and here to cover NXT Takeover London.
You had like the plague or something. I don't even know.
I've not been that sick in quite a while.
The Hobo flu is way different because the antibodies are down, so like, oof. Yeah. It took you a lot longer to heal than it usually would.
It hits you hard, and
like
it
a normal human.
Takes over your being. It was pretty gross.
Thanks. Well, sitting next to the Hobo, Mark Donica.
I decided to dress up for the occasion. It is a takeover. I usually like doing that for the takeovers. Hello, I'm the Internet Soapbox Mark. Follow me on Twitter at SoapboxMark, and I'm going to be on the hashtag and in the chat. But use the hashtag ABTVNXT on Twitter if you want to get your questions to us. We're going to be doing a little bit longer of a show because it is a takeover. Thank God, because there is
so
a lot
much
to talk about.
So happy with how everything turned out. I think I've been singing Hey, Hey Bailey since it ended in my head. But we start off the show, Triple H comes out and addresses the audience, just says, "We are NXT," hypes up everyone. And I don't know if you guys have seen the clips of the crowds in the past 6 days while they were on the tour of
you can't miss
the UK. Yeah, and they, like... their energy is just so infectious. The 10-minute chants that JJ and Gable got and Bailey's gotten over the week, like it's...
There's nothing like a UK crowd, dude. Like we've been in the middle of some great crowds for NXT events, but just in general, UK wrestling crowds are a completely different animal.
We were going to try to get some people to call in, but unfortunately we didn't have enough time. And then we also realized that everyone at Wembley probably doesn't have a voice anymore because they're chanting the entire 2 hours.
Yeah. And it's like midnight, 1 o'clock over there now. So geez,
well,
they're still up.
They're passionate enough where like they would still, Woo. But the first match of the evening, and so hard to top, was Asuka versus Emma.
One of my favorite matchups of the evening, of an evening filled with great matchups. This, I think, was sort of the underdog. You didn't really expect much from this, but I think...
Excuse me?
Me personally, I was thinking, well,
Who are you? Where have you been the last, 6 months?
Do you have a head cold?
I am impressed at the level at which Emma was working tonight. I think she more than brought it. I think Dana Brooke really didn't have much involvement in this match. It made Emma look even better.
Well, she didn't have much involvement until the very end when Asuka ends up backing into the ref, and the ref is down. Dana throws something into the ring. What was that?
I think it was a belt that she was wearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, something to potentially hurt Asuka if Emma chose to use it, which she does. But Asuka has it at one point. The ref thinks that it was her.
The old Guerrero switch.
Mm-hmm. Towards the end, Asuka locks in the Asuka... What was it? The Asuka lock?
Yeah,
the Asuka
lock.
And Emma taps, but then Dana distracks.
This was
a wonderful last couple of... This is a great last sequence. And to speak to you about Emma, it didn't necessarily show me anything that I haven't seen from Emma before. I'm happy that this Emma is back. And from a storyline perspective, she's been talking about how the Divas Revolution started with an Evolution, and this, if anything, proved that correct.
Absolutely. I think her stock has been down recently after going from the main roster back down to the NXT roster. I think a lot of people are questioning her abilities, and I think this really put all of that to shame and absolutely solidified her as being one of the top talents down there as far as women go.
Well, there's been so much focus on the 4 horsewomen, and with 3 of them going up to the main roster, Paige, who was there prior to the 4 horsewomen already being on the main roster, and Emma coming back down, I think that fans didn't really know where she stood, and this is what finally built back her as a someone to be reckoned with.
I think she's more confident now than she has been. It showed. She felt and looked like she was supposed to be there.
Her wrestling's better than ever.
Absolutely.
And this finish was just so interesting.
Roller coaster.
We haven't seen something like that at NXT yet.
Not quite like this.
Not exactly like that, no.
Yeah. It was a real roller coaster.
Like
you didn't know how
you go into
go.
a match like this going, oh, it's Asuka's gonna win, and then it gets to the last 5 minutes, and you're like, anything could happen, and that's the magic of professional wrestling.
All of the matches, all of them had great storytelling. We all of them have defined storylines and so many near falls and so many emotions.
It's about the emotions
them,
and the English crowds, the UK crowds. They love an emotional match, and I think it was brought. There's some people who like high-flying moves above everything else.
I do like those
too.
too.
It's about the story and the emotion, and I think these guys brought it tonight. All of them. They should be patting each other on the back.
Definitely. After this match, we have the tag title match, Enzo and Cass versus Dash and Dawson. The crowd's reaction to Enzo and Cass coming out with Carmella was so, just the tops.
Heavy favorites. I mean, they were behind Cass and Enzo from the absolute start of this, and they would not let up. Their vocal levels never changed. They were at top peak all night long, all match long.
It's very interesting to see, and we'll be covering it on Breaking Ground later, how quiet Enzo is just in passing. And he's very soft spoken and low spoken because he has to be at 110 all the time.
Yeah, it takes it out of you. Just as those few minutes you spend in the ring, you're all the way up. All your volume, all your energy is just all the way up. That when you're in your off time, you gotta be a little quiet.
But these are guys. This is a group of people where any minute, any second, any opportunity that they have to be out there in front of the cameras or out there in front of the crowd, everybody by the end of the show will remember them and know their name. And it's been like that since the beginning with them.
Yeah, and Dawson and Wilder, you can't take it away from them. They were great foils tonight.
My God.
They had a couple of missteps during this match that sort of cost them. It allowed Cass and Enzo to sort of get the edge, the upper hand during a good portion of this match.
But there were the other parts where they were in the right place at the right time. I was 100% sold Enzo and Cass were about to win when Zoe hits the splash, pulls him out, and Dawson pulled Dash out of the ring. I was like, What now? What's going to happen now?
But then he grabs Carmella, uses her as a shield. You dirty rat! She a nice elbow planted in his jaw.
And the Let's Go Enzo Amore. That was really cool.
Brutal shatter machine at the very end.
Oh, super machine.
What? Broken. But overall, such an incredible match. Dash and Dawson retain the tag titles.
I'm pretty dang happy about that. These are guys who have nowhere to go but up, and they're if we've been getting the message show in and show out about how they're not going to take any prisoners and do anything to keep those straps on their belt, they have to bowl through everybody.
Well, it's the most exciting time for tag teams because we have such a huge division, and a year or two ago we didn't. Now there are so many people that we could feasibly see it being the tag champions, whether it's Cass and Enzo, Dash and Dawson, JJ and Gable, who are so over in the UK. The list goes on and on.
And you have to respect Dawson and Wilder. You really do, because they are precision. They are really the perfect example of a tag team gelling and meshing absolutely perfectly so that each and both partners know exactly what's happening right at the right time.
And did anybody find it weird? No, well, not necessarily find it weird. What did you think of the ref's call to not disqualify Enzo and Cass when Carmella struck Scott Dawson?
He put hands on her first.
Yes, and
I think that was sort
was
of
a self-defense.
Protecting
It was a
herself,
self-defense. Okay, good. Yeah.
That made sense to me.
It was a very. I think it was the right thing to do. If they really wanted to cheap it out and really go super heel with Dash and Dawson, like that would have been like they win by DQ.
Well,
But that,
I mean, even in the
crowd would have rioted.
Even in the first match, Asuka could have been disqualified for holding whatever weapon belt that was.
Well, that was Emma's fault. She almost
I know,
had
but the ref didn't see that.
Exactly. No, but I'm saying if Emma hadn't gone for that O'Connor roll right when the dispute was happening with the referee may have disqualified her. Instead, he was like, well, I got to make the count now. And then he continued with the count.
Emma saved the match. The first match was awesome. And I also don't believe that ref could get knocked out as easily. Because it's a former wrestler. Come on.
It's Drake.
It's Drake.
Yeah. But, it's two whole bodies coming in on you at the right place, the right time, or wrong place, wrong time, and it can put you down.
Fair enough.
At least for a little while. Or another referee didn't have to come and make the run out for the save.
Yeah.
He was just down for a little bit, having to, recuperate his faculties.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat right now, and everyone's talking about how great Carmella was. So good.
She was, I think, the perfect cheerleader. I mean,
She was a cheerleader, former cheerleader. Oh, and there's your voice.
She's very good at it. The whole thing, man.
And this match was, as you were saying, just it makes you so much more excited about the tag team division. And the same thing that we got with TakeOver Brooklyn, we're getting next week on the show, which is a fatal 4-way tag team match, which is going to be beyond exciting to see.
It'll be wild.
Yeah, it'll be insane.
Ugh.
Wild and crazy cats and kids.
You know.
Next match, we have Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Before we see this match, we see a bunch of people coming in from backstage or coming in from outside.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Just like a random flashback. Hey, look, here's
Earlier
people walking
tonight,
in.
Here's people and their luggage.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird seeing Bayley and Carmella walking into the ring.
And then acknowledging.
It's
so funny because I feel like Breaking Ground has become the total divas for the main roster, or it's that for NXT. So they're acknowledging things that are happening because obviously people who watch NXT for the most part have the network, unless you're in the UK or somewhere else. But if you have the network, you know that they're friends, so it's okay to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
And they're both faces.
Right,
so,
exactly.
So
you can actually
fine.
have them in the same place at the same time and not kill your story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Was this everything that you guys expected?
Not necessarily.
It left a little to be desired, is what you're saying?
I think so.
Okay.
I liked it.
I know. I'm not saying that I didn't like it, but
I think it was what it needed to be.
Yeah. No, and I can go on that. I did like Baron is looking more and more like an actual wrestler, like he had with the elbow pad,
the sleeve.
Yeah. I liked that look for him. It made just subconsciously made me think he's taking this more seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of just being like, I'm just going to show up and beat people up, he's like, okay, I got to protect myself because I'm going to be fighting people that I need to be ready for.
It was probably just covering up some sort of nagging thing.
Fine, geez, shut up, Hobo. I think that the best way to describe it is this match was what it needed to be, and I'm excited to see if it'll continue with how the ending fleshed out.
I would say that both of these guys, both Corbin and Cruz, have come such a long way in their time at being with NXT. Like, this is a match that I don't think I would have looked forward to had you asked me 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was very excited, and I thought they did great.
Absolutely. I think the story really showed through that Apollo was having to fight uphill for the first time in quite a while. Probably ever, even. And Baron Corbin just disrespects.
Not going to smile right off his face.
Absolutely. Actually, I don't know. He came in smiling, but I think that smile faded as soon as that bell hit.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened.
What was the Cass and Enzo promo from earlier where they said, "You're not going to walk out of here the way you walked in"? What if Corbin just took the exact same lines? He's like, "You're not going to walk out of here the way you walked in." Wipe the smile off your face. No.
He'd have to be smiling to begin with. I don't think I've ever seen Baron Corbin smile. I'm not sure he has teeth.
I'm not sure I want to see him smile. Because it'd be like some creepy, like, this makes me happy.
You actually have seen him smile when he was looking at skeleton heads in.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to buy that man's skull cap. That's
Literally
weird.
Skull Cat.
Literally.
Yeah.
And Skull Yarmulke.
Anything else you guys want to mention from this match?
I
feel like we're breezing through everything.
We kind of are.
Like, I'm just so excited to talk
because-
about everything. That,
I think because we're going to talk about everything as a whole afterwards. Like, that's what I figure. There's a lot of... There was a lot of Apollo in here that was... I figured something more that you want to see in terms of aggression. Not necessarily super wild, like when he was just doing mounted punches. Like, I can't do it anymore, and he just started beating the hell out of him. That showed a little bit more character than I'm gonna break him in half.
Yes, I think he actually showed the right level of aggravation and frustration. I think everything managed to fit in this, and it was a power struggle between these two guys, somebody who has made themselves in NXT and somebody who has traveled the world, and the level of disrespect that Baron Corbin showed to him, I think, put this far and above a lot of other contests from a really personal perspective.
And I finally figured out what I was trying to say about this match is you could see, and in that comparison, you can see the difference in ability, which made it that much more engaging to watch, whereas Apollo is this super polished, amazing, world-traveled wrestler. Here's this balls out, drag out dude who's like, I know a couple of holds, I know a couple of suplexes, I'm just gonna beat the hell out of you if that's okay with you. So to see that, like, usually when two different styles like that meet, it doesn't really work. And it took me a little while to get over that when I got into the story that they were trying to tell. And it pushed through a level that I think everybody was expecting and became a great match.
He's a striker, almost a pure striker. He really doesn't do any holds. He doesn't do anything fancy.
No.
But what he offers is a unique set of skills and a precision ability to knock a man off his game and knock him almost out for a loop completely.
Yeah.
Overall, just another solid match on this card.
Really?
Yeah.
Definitely. So after this match, I feel like we should just start skanking now because we get the promo that Sami Zayn is coming back to NXT next week.
That's my alarm, so I know it. Like, I have two alarms. My first alarm is Becky Lynch because it's just whoa, and I'm like, okay, I'm awake. And if I need to be woken up even more, it's Sami Zayn. Yeah, no, I as they've been teasing just that he was returning, and we heard the news that he was coming back for a match.
He was on the tour with
and that he was coming
yeah.
back for a match for next week's show that they taped before Takeover. But I wish that they didn't give the next week just to leave the illusion of he might show up tonight.
Well, he did after the taping was over.
Yeah.
And I cried because I just wanted to see that.
But that's what I mean is because remember when we got on Raw there was Neville is coming and then look, Neville's here, like something where it's just like, oh, okay. Cool.
It will definitely make more people tune in next week. I think especially the people that only tune in for takeovers, they're like, oh, well, Sami Zayn's coming back next week, so maybe I should watch just a regular NXT.
And also that first reaction that he got earlier in the night, or later in the night, however you want to put it, later in the tour, just because of taping is fun, will be a lot bigger that for next week than it would have been if he came back out. So it
could have been overshadowed.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't really think it could have been, but there would have been a slight overshadowing, being that it was at a takeover.
Yeah.
Right.
After that, Greg interviews Nia Jax backstage, and she says she's going to do to Bayley what she does to... You looking at me? You looking at something? See Asuka lurking by the interview area. And Nia finishes after scaring Asuka. Well, not scaring Asuka away. Asuka just kind of walks away.
It was an encounter. Two wild animals.
Stare off.
Looking at each other. We didn't quite know if there was going to be any sort of actual altercation. I'm sort of glad there wasn't.
It sets up another great feud, though.
Well, WWE.com currently has a poll up who should challenge Bayley next, and Asuka is winning with over half of the votes.
Ooh.
Well, that's quite a weight margin.
It's a little bit. No mention of Eva Marie, just saying.
Well, Nia finishes her chat with Greg Hamilton, and she says she plans to dominate and destroy tonight like she does every time. So, we see a Bayley package right after this. Just reminds us how much we love her, why she wanted to be a wrestler in the first place, how passionate she is. But it sets it up when you have that person that's supposed to be just such a heel, and then you see this person crying, reading her journal, her diary from when she was a kid, about how she wanted to work for the WWE someday. And like, how can you not resonate with that?
It's really hard. Somebody tweeted me that they were sitting next to the only person in the entire stadium who didn't like Bayley. The only person. I wonder what that person's mind is like.
Nia Jax's mom?
Maybe. I think that guy's got spiders in his heart. Yeah. Terrible.
He's a mean one.
That Mr. Grinch.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Can we finally talk about this match, though?
All right.
Yes.
Let's do it. Yes.
I was going to charge it up, but yes.
Yes.
Her
yes.
damn entrance outfit. Yas, Queen Nia, yas.
Seriously.
So good. I was just like, that is Queen Nia right there, dude. The high collar and everything.
They took the idea and completely applied it. And I think
you can send the checks to the AfterBuzz office. Thank you.
And she was walking, and I think she felt like a fashion model because she sort of didn't move. She sort of enjoyed it.
Well,
like less imposing and more pretty.
She is wrestling royalty. That is why she's the queen.
She comes from the royal bloodline.
Yes.
HRH.
Yep.
This match, though, was just... I did not know where it was going, who was going to win. Bayley ends up retaining, but
by submission, which would not have been the finish I would have assumed in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's no way... just looking at this from the start, I'm going... She's not going to be able to suplex her.
Nope.
That's off the list. And I'm sure she knew it going in. She didn't even attempt it this whole time, so she was trying to do everything else.
Well, that was the great part, is you saw her relying on what she knew, and then making a conscious decision to go, okay, none of that is working. Yeah. I need to try something new.
The first person Bayley doesn't want to hug.
Really?
I don't know. I think maybe.
Well, hug into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. The tides of this match, like it shows, first of all, the quality of both of them as wrestlers, and also that as much as we have seen in the women's division, and in any division for that matter, but mostly in the women's division, we haven't seen anything yet. And that's what makes me so excited. And for this match, was anybody upset that Bayley retained?
Upset?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Hell
could have
no.
seen it go either way. Like,
That's
I'm
the
happy
thing.
that Bayley retained, but I also kind of wanted to see Nia get it.
I think it would have been great.
Too much like Kevin Owens coming in.
I think
and
she
sort
would
of
have gotten.
usurping very
She would have gotten
quickly.
so much heat, but it would be the right kind of heat. It would be okay. We respect you, but you got this way too fast. They're pushing you too fast, and then she would get immediately booed because right now she has the kind of she's in that place where people are cheering her because they like her, but she's supposed to be a heel.
I would say, if anything, I would like to see something where the very next match Nia goes over clean, just to be like, that was a fluke, and that's never going to happen again. And she Nia has to work her way back up to the women's championship, but in order to do that, she has to beat Bayley like several times, non-title, just to be like, oh no, yeah, that was Bayley got lucky, just because as I think that it's more of a testament to Bayley than a lack of a testament to Nia.
Yeah.
For something like
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayley.
Yes.
Bayley was completely underneath Nia this entire time. At times, literally. Mm-hmm. I mean, she just got run into the ground over and over, just leg drop after leg drop. She relied more on her ability to survive than her ability to really do offense, because she couldn't take Nia off her feet.
No.
She was throwing her entire body at Nia Jax, and she could not take her off her feet.
Got her on a knee.
Just an immovable object, if ever there was one.
Mm-hmm.
Could not gain an advantage, and I like that this match went differently than every other match on the card.
Yeah.
For that, it was 100% memorable, because matches kind of have their ebbs and flows. This one, it didn't follow any sort of idea that you had, because it just was Bayley just hacking at this tree, and she could not get anything until the very end, when she finally just kept going back to the same thing that seemed to be working. And then she finally got the victory. It was,
Hard work pays off.
seriously, I think that's kind of her motto. It's the
Bob Backlund's motto.
Bob Backlund's motto. Yeah.
Hard work pays off. But overall, yeah, such a great match, and hard work does pay off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the main event. Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. Was this everything you wanted it to be?
It seems to be a theme.
I think it was. I think.
I know it was.
This goes up as a classic. Like, without a shadow of a
I
doubt.
100% agree. There were so many times when you thought that one of them was going to win. Like, in my mind, I was so dead set, like, thinking that Samoa Joe was going to win at points. So many near falls, Pele kicks, Kohina clutches. Like, I don't even know where to begin and where to end with this.
Well, I just loved near the end how everything was that step, and the timing was just perfect. And Finn going up for the coup de grace, and like, nope, it's gonna be muscle bust. Nope. Like,
Joe
it just,
kicking out of the coup de grace, the
Yes.
first one, that
Yeah,
no
to the
one's
back.
kicked out of that yet. Hello.
Not that
Hi.
I can
Hi.
remember.
and the attempted coup de grace on the stairs, like, you got to see the lengths at which Finn was going to go, because he knew how far he had to go. Even taking in the air of the area, he could feel it calling in the air tonight. Of Jack the Ripper for his entrance. That was
entrance
like-
was so
Like,
good.
like, everybody thought, oh, they're just doing that for because it's London. That's great. That's cool. But it's like, of course, that's the demon. That is the demon of that area.
We're dumb.
Brilliant.
Missed
Well,
it.
Yeah.
Completely.
And do you think any of our friends who are watching down in Florida were like,
You're so
don't
stupid.
get it?
You
Just
guys,
don't
you
stupid
guys. We won't tell them. That's what they were thinking. We won't.
Stupid Americans.
And is this another? But with this match, and despite how great it was, is this another instance where the women could have main evented? Just as an open question.
I mean, it for sure could have been a co-main event. I think that this match especially, I wouldn't have minded if, you know, Bayley versus Nia Jax or someone else was a main event at next TakeOver. But this match alone, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, has been 10 years in the making. It's 10 years of friendship culminating in this matchup for the title. He disrespected his friend and made him pass out multiple times. Like, this was the main event for sure.
It's just a story of what one man is willing to do to really chase down gold. He's willing to burn bridges. I mean, destroy entire relationships that span decades for what? A shot at a belt, a championship, a title.
Well, that's how much it means.
But also, they said it in the interviews before. Joe says, I may have gone a little bit too far in places, but when it comes right down to it, you got to do the hard stuff in order to get what you want. And that made it. That is what made me go, I want to see this match more. Other than him with the full button up, like, Balor, I'm mad at you. Like, no, like this was the thing where it's like, I know it's because it's the acknowledgement and the acceptance of, like, I know exactly what I did. I didn't like it, but I had to do it, and I'm going to keep doing what I don't like doing, or I'm going to keep doing what I have to do in order to get what I want.
Yeah.
You can't just suddenly change your mind halfway through.
No.
Especially when you're going to war like this. You've got to really stick to your guns. If you're going to do something bad, damn it, that's it. Just accept it. I did this. I absolutely did it. And he went into this match with that on his mind. He said, I'm going to do exactly what I have to do in order to get the win tonight. And I think he did everything that he could possibly do.
To me, this match surpassed Owens Balor ladder match.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, many things from us personally about that match. We were there in person, and we had to recover from Sasha Bayley won.
Yeah.
And so that was another thing where everybody had to, like, wake up 10 minutes in and go, oh, this match is still happening. Holy crap.
I mean, I was really excited for that, but
Definitely, 100%.
This was like, I thought one of them was gonna die. Like, that's literally like that's what I thought. Balor ends up winning and retaining the NXT Championship. It looked like after, I couldn't tell whether he was just really good at selling or he was injured.
He's okay.
Okay, people checked on him.
Yes, he got a checkup. The doctor was, like, literally with him, seemingly going like, you probably shouldn't put your arms up or something. So it might have been a scare. Excuse me, but the reports are saying that he is fine.
What do you think it was? Like, wind knocked out of him?
Probably.
Or
It could be that.
potentially concussion?
It could have been
I hope not.
No, it could have been like a small stinger, something just.
It could have been a way that he landed from the coup de grace, because it wasn't textbook. Like, it wasn't like right on where that move usually hits. So we don't know, because of shots, he could have hit his head on, like, a turnbuckle or something, or he could have come down.
Those strikes,
he could have whipped a little bit.
Yeah, some of those strikes were a little bit snugger than I've seen
it was
in
also,
the past.
Well, then you're hitting your friend, but
that's the thing, is your friends, you know how snug that each one can go.
And even the little things, like I think there was a Pele kick where it didn't really, like, it just nicked Joe. They even recovered from that. Like, it looked like that was intentional, of like, oh, I've been putting everything into this. Like, I missed, and then, like, both of them were down on the ground for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, even the STO on the outside in the early goings of this match just caught it. Bam!
I gotta watch this show again.
Whoa.
Now, like, this is another instance where now that the show is over, I need to go back and watch it and really catch everything. But really quickly, before we continue, Bradley Smith, who is a iTunes listener joining us live for the first time on video, said that you don't look any way how he thought that you would compared to your voice. But
What does that mean?
He left a comment saying, what was great about all of these matches? Either side could have won any of these matches, and it would have made sense. That doesn't happen on the main roster.
I second that, Bradley Smith. It's unpredictable, and that's what we love. That's what's so exciting about it. And I think that, especially with NXT, a lot of the guys and girls down there have said in interviews that there's such talent down there that it makes them want to step up their game and be better. And there's this friendly competition to have the best match of the night. And I think that that's why this product is just succeeding at an astronomical rate. And everyone who watches it is so passionate about it and resonates with it.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it any better.
And this is matches like these make you happy when they come out with when they talk in interviews about like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to go up to the main roster anytime soon.
I wouldn't either.
Because WWE wasn't in Wembley, NXT was in Wembley, and I couldn't. Like, and we have people who are watching us live right now. Again, thank you for staying up and joining us. But I couldn't. We were at Brooklyn. We were at San Jose. I can't imagine what that building was like. I would have given almost anything to be there in that building. But I don't
think I've ever watched in the entire 27 years of my life a TV show or a show that's not even on TV, but so good that it should be, that has made me this passionate about it.
Well, I mean, we had a little bit of a conversation on Twitter with a good friend, Mr. Makazi, about, like, I was just talking about Jessica Jones, and how you were funning me several times about spoiling stuff for me.
Luke Cage wrestling with an alligator.
Oh, it was so good. And ZZ, he made a cameo. That was totally great. Unexpected. But you were talking about, oh yeah, that's my second favorite non-television show on right now. What was your first? NXT. And as much as it's like, that's the cute answer, 100%. This is compelling stories. This is compelling stories, and I thank everybody in chat who's reminding us that wrestling is fake. Oh no! So's Game of Thrones, but like this, you don't get storytelling like this in regular television sometimes.
Side note: have you seen Mike Quackenbush's speech about pro wrestling? And that just, if you haven't watched it, go to his Twitter. Mike Quackenbush. He is the head of Chikara, and he has this. He spoke in, I think it was in Philadelphia, about pro wrestling and why people love it and why it is changing so much, and people are becoming more accepting of it, potentially, if we embrace, okay, this is fake. There are storylines, but you appreciate the athleticism and the storytelling that goes into it. You then have so much better of a show, and other people who aren't fans are more likely to get on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what really is fake? The narratives that people try to apply to other sports. Wrestling is storytelling. That's what that is.
Dude, UFC has it, football has it. They try to make a story about something, and the only time I was really interested in a UFC fight, I totally forget the guy's name, but he was just generally an a-hole, and he like wouldn't shake hands with people before the fight or like touch gloves or anything, and it was a story about this dude who, like, the guy who was fighting was disrespecting his brother, and I was like, I want to see this guy get his ass kicked. And it's like, that's wrestling.
Yeah.
That's 100% wrestling. And it's flipping great. And we got a lot of people saying yes to Mike Quackenbush.
Yes, indeed.
So good, so powerful. But overall thoughts of this NXT takeover in London?
I just don't know where we go from here.
And we say that every takeover. Where do we go?
Where do we go?
Where do we go now? Honestly, I figure the next takeover will be in Florida, but what location do you want to see next for a takeover?
Well, I don't know.
Los Angeles?
No, I was going to say personally Los Angeles.
That would be nice.
NXT goes Hollywood? Actually, I think the next one might be WrestleMania, because they've already announced that there's going to be a takeover in Texas the weekend of WrestleMania.
Right.
So.
Well, is it a takeover?
It's a takeover.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a takeover.
I wasn't sure whether it was just a show like they did in San Jose, but...
No, they announced it's going to be a takeover.
They announced some dates, which we'll get to in the news, which is super exciting.
I should probably look those up.
I think I've memorized them. So.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it'll be really cool to see them do more things. And this, I think I'm stealing this from someone on Twitter, but people have always wondered whether it would be a good idea to do a WrestleMania in London, and this is proof that, like, those fans,
this is proof that it won't work, because NXT will.
I could hear the chants from Los Angeles, like that. Even just hearing the chants made me get goosebumps. Before I saw any wrestling happen, it made me excited. And you can't hype up someone in that way without that kind of an audience.
Mm-hmm. No, they're some of the best fans. They're some of the most accepting, and they want to see good wrestling.
UK, can you adopt us? We want to come there.
Please.
Well, I mean, this show, like, despite there not being any title changes, which you would expect for a show like this, especially a touring show, like a show in another country, like you would want something big to happen. And here's one of the main differences between the main roster and NXT is it's not the finish that is the news. It's the match that's the news and the story. And that's like, and I mean, we're kind of going, I'm kind of pulling a reverse Cathy Kelley from Raw. And on Raw and TLC, like TLC, Sheamus and Roman told an amazing story with their bodies, with TLC. And on Raw, like they just changed the decision. So if it ended up being that at the show, who knows what sort of an emotion we would have been feeling.
Two things. First thing, if you guys are NXT proud, please go over to our Raw after show and explain why I am so passionate about NXT, because I get so much hate for even mentioning NXT on our Raw after show.
I don't understand why they don't get it.
Either.
And I mean, I get tweets constantly of like, never stop talking about developmental, but it's one of those things where I try not to talk about it as much as I can, but there are situations, like, would you rather me talk about the past and how much and criticize Raw, or would you rather me talk about how excited I am for the future?
Right. You can talk about things that make you angry, or you can talk about things that make you happy.
Yeah, and
You're
I'd rather
choosing the
be
latter.
positive about it.
Absolutely.
PMA, guys, PMA. So, second thing was the only thing that I wish happened more at NXT London, Takeover London, was that we got more storyline set up for the future. Is like we saw the potential Nia Jax Asuka feud, but I don't know where any of these other things are going. And I'm still, obviously I'm going to watch next week, but the aftermath of like, I want to know where feuds are going.
This is not the first time we've said
because
this.
Brooklyn was the same.
Yeah.
Brooklyn was the same thing where
and Respect was the same thing.
Yeah.
As we were, which is, I guess it's good. We were left wanting more, but it's the same concept of, you know, after a show has their season finale, they tease some stuff for next season. They leave the door open, and I think that was really, it wasn't even that it was lacking. It was just that as a fan, I'm like, oh, I'm curious who Finn Balor's going to face next. I'm curious who...
and that's kind of why I figured a Sami Zayn appearance on this show would have happened, to at least see him wonder what direction he wanted to go in.
And I think that there's actually a lot of fun in fantasy booking. You know, you don't know where everything's going to go, so you end up having a conversation, much like we're having right now, about where's everybody going to go? What are we going to see next? What do we want to see next? And as far as tag teams are concerned, Jordan and Gable. What was that, 10-minute ovation they had?
Yeah,
I think
Sheffield?
they're ready to have a shot at the titles myself.
Thank you guys in chat for saying you don't mind me talking about developmental as well. But I don't, yeah.
There's something that we've been saying since the very first Takeover special. There's nothing like a feeling of being a part of this community, and it's these shows that really pull us all together and go, that was great, wasn't it? Like, no matter win, lose, or draw, no matter what, this is storytelling at its finest, and I can't wait. You can never wait for more. For something like this. And I think Triple H said it the best. Like, people say, oh, he no-sold his beatdown at TLC. When he said, you would have had to kill me to keep me from being here. That is the power of NXT, really. Is you would have to kill somebody to keep them from going to a show.
NXT. Ooh, I want, no. Yeah, we could talk about this all day. I feel like there is a lot of newses.
There's
that we
a
gotta talk
little
about.
bit of news and gossip.
There's a lot of bit of news and gossip.
So since you have the dates memorized, Cathy Kelley, kind of working on it, there is going to be a Midwest tour happening from NXT with a big show happening in Chicago. What in some of the other cities?
They are going to be in January 15th, I believe they're going to be in Milwaukee. January 16th, they're going to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And January 17th, or no,
Go on.
I think January 17th they're going to be in Chicago. It might be one day forward, so it might be the 14th, 15th, 16th, but that weekend they're making the rounds.
Midwest, they're coming to you.
Is that official? Wait, I probably messed that up.
Well,
but people in chat tell us.
they tweeted it out, and it was over several tweets because they were generating new hashtags, so they needed the room is more than 140 characters. So yeah,
I might have to fly home to Chicago just for that.
Dude, that would be a hell of a time. So we've also a couple of fun little interviews. Of course, there's a video online of NXT Blackpool where Jason Jordan and Chad Gable got a 10-minute ovation, which you can't What the hell?
They looked so happy and so just amped to be in the ring because of that.
And imagine the breaking ground we're gonna get, where it's only months ago Jason Jordan was wondering if he would even have a job, and now he's getting a 10-minute standing ovation.
Yep.
Dude, and looking over the news, it was officially announced NXT Takeover Dallas is going to be WrestleMania weekend, so we do have that to look forward to.
I believe Triple H also said that he's going to make several more announcements before the year is up.
Jeez. Christmas and Boxing Day. It's going to be hell of the end of the year. There's some fun interviews to look up. Finn did an interview where he talked about moving to the main roster might be a step back as opposed to a step forward. Bayley on if she would turn heel. There's some fun stuff there. But two of the other biggest pieces of news is recently Mauro Ranallo, who might be the new head announcer for SmackDown.
Yeah.
When he was pitched the idea of joining, he was told that they're trying to figure that SmackDown would be kind of a combination of Raw and NXT.
I am really, really excited to see what he brings to the table, because I'm not as familiar with what he does. I Googled and watched a few videos.
He's a sportsman.
But I think that's what they need is I was watching some Smoky Mountain stuff and some other stuff on the network, and then I went back and watched a bunch of old Mean Gene stuff recently, just to see that style. And it was much more like sports announcery. It was very similar to the interviews that Joe Rogan does now for UFC, and so it'll be really interesting to see someone that has that kind of background, what he brings to the table.
Right. I mean, they've sort of gone away from personalities in their interviewing and all of that, but I think it's important. It's sports, but the person doing the interviewing has to be more than simply a microphone stand.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody with some personality to draw personality out of other people.
Do you think seeing them bring somebody in, despite how much talent they are currently working on in Florida, does that say how do you think that reflects upon what they're working on?
I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing to bring someone in. I think it's very similar to what they've done with the roster at NXT, is they have people that they bring up in developmental, and then they have people that they bring in like the Finn Balors, the Samoa Joes, who already have that experience, and they go, straight to the main events of shows, as opposed to starting from the bottom, working your time in the Performance Center, and then doing the live shows, then the NXT shows,
That's quite a compliment.
I can agree with that. And I will say, if you ever need a panel to discuss in depth the ins and outs of NXT, we do know some people who are open and available. Give them a call.
Us.
Is that...
Spoiler alert!
Us.
And oh god, it was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, there was a piece of bad news to come out of the weekend. William Regal had to return to the United States because of not I don't want to say complications of his neck surgery. His tweets precisely were, "I'm incredibly sorry, but I have had to return to the U.S. to take care of some final details of my recent neck surgery that couldn't be avoided any longer. Again, I'm sorry that I cannot continue with the current tour, but I'll be back in 2016 to WWE NXT.
That.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
He missed the final two tours, and of course, the final two dates of the tour, as well as Takeover. But
hey, all of us him. Health first.
Seriously, health first. As much as we were looking forward to a Regal match at this Takeover, hell of a Takeover we got. And we
there
just
wasn't room for any other specialty matches. It was absolutely jam-packed with all of the matches that we already had discussed before, previously setting up. There wasn't even room for a Grado on this card,
But-
or Jack Sabre.
Zack Sabre Jr.?
Yeah,
Did you just call him Jack Sabre?
whatever.
Oh
What's
my
that-
gosh,
what's
just
that
for a
jacket you're wearing?
second, I saw Will Ospreay at PWG last weekend, and
Yeah.
he is so good. Like, he is going to be in WWE one day.
Really, I know. Really quickly, this isn't just as kind of an aside. Your experience at PWG over the weekend.
What about it?
I don't know if she told you the story. So our wonderful and lovely Miss Cathy Kelley, seemingly a fish out of water at a gross, grimy PWG show.
You ever been to an
Gross and
American
grimy, are
Legion
you
Hall
kidding me?
before?
I loved it.
I've seen those. No, I've seen
What?
those
You
people.
ever been to an American Legion Hall before?
I have been to so many VFW halls, you don't even want to know.
So-
I was like the straight edge kid in high school who went to concerts every weekend. So that's where all the bands played.
So really quickly, just as a fun aside, I mean, you know a lot of the people there. So, for instance, this is relating to NXT. A former Solomon Crow, Mr. Sami Callahan, appeared at the show.
He was there. Cassius Ono.
Cassius
now,
Ono.
Sure.
Chris Hero
Sure.
was there.
So, your experience with the rest of the crowd, if you could share it with the fine folks.
We chanted.
And
We loved it.
about how the people you were sitting next to you felt the need to explain everything that was happening to
Because
you.
I'm a dumb girl.
Because you're a dumb girl who doesn't watch wrestling.
My favorite question that I got asked, I got asked it once there, but today when I was on set for another TV show that I tape, someone asked me, "Oh, how did you get into wrestling? Did your boyfriend get you into it?" And I was like, "No, I actually started watching it on my own accord, and I really liked it, so I kept watching it."
Yeah.
Boom! But you told me the fun story of when Callahan showed up, the guy turned to you and said, "Hey, so yeah, he used to be in WWE, but
he's like, he
got
used to be in
fired."
this thing called NXT that's owned by WWE, but
Really?
he recently got fired. I was like, actually, he left on his own accord.
and then just like a slow turn back. Sorry, really had to share that. We're really happy. We're really happy that Sami Callahan is going back to his roots and really coming back to whatever made everybody love him in the first place, and hopefully we see more from him
He was so
in the
good.
future.
Yeah, I talked to him for like 2 seconds, and
Yeah.
he just seemed so happy to be there. So.
Good. And I hope he comes back for more PWG shows.
I'm sure
Figured
he
he
will,
would.
yeah.
He's kind of a mainstay. But
And
yeah.
Ciampa and Gargano were there.
Yes, they were. I saw that on the card. I was really jealous.
I gave the entire card. I was jealous of myself that I was there.
So, aside from Sami Zayn's return, we have a Fatal 4-Way tag team match next week. Is there anything else that you want to see moving forward?
It definitely seems like they're setting up between Nia Jax and Asuka, but I would love to see Asuka versus Bayley. That's the battle of the tassels. And I'm trying to think. I really hope that JJ and Gable are on the card next week. I really hope that Alexa Bliss gets some time next week.
They're in the tag match. They're in
Okay.
the Fatal 4-Way tag match.
I'd say the only loose ends from this are really Baron Corbin and
Apollo.
Apollo Cruz, because Apollo lost. That was a bit of a shock to me. I considered that an upset that Baron actually managed to pull that off. And who knows where these two are going to go from here.
I don't think Samoa Joe's going to go down without a fight.
Of course not.
He already lost this match, but I think that there is going to be some significant retaliation next week.
What I would like to see, because it's something that we don't, well, and let me finish and you'll agree that it's not something we see very often. We get to a point with Joe and Finn where if you don't beat him, you can't get a title shot anymore. And we never see that work in the negative favor. We've had a loser leaves NXT match and that's happened, but that way Joe can still be around and be a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
But that makes him even more of a threat because, like, I'm here to win a championship that I can't even win, so now I have to work even harder to kick people's asses to make it so that I'm the only one left.
A lot of people are kind of questioning if the Hideo Itami storyline gets brought into this feud. I also could foresee next week Joe being like, wow, I was just so, like, in the zone, like crazed because I wanted this championship and I completely forgot about our friendship and like I'm an awful person, pretends to be Finn's friend for a while and then just like takes him out.
Like, hey, why don't we have another go? Like, you brought the best out of me.
No, he doesn't even ask for another go. It's like he pretends to be Finn's friend. He's just like, wow, I was an idiot. Pretends to be his friend for a couple months, and then maybe enlists some help or does it on his own. He, like, Tanya Hardings him and ask for a match after.
Actually, I am proved wrong. Tyson Kidd lost the right to get a title shot in NXT. I forgot about that. That was great. Thank you, Ron Corleone.
There you go.
Can we talk about this for 6 more hours? I feel like
I want to do. Honestly, I want to do a watch along with it. Like, we turn on the thing again.
I'm definitely going to watch this again. Yeah.
I feel
can't
like
even speak right now. I'm so tired.
As much as I was trying to pay attention, I feel like I did miss a lot that the chat has been kind of filling in. And to those of you who are in the chat who are joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Like, again, we wouldn't have this show without you. So please, when the show's over, reload the page, leave a comment, leave a rating, give us a thumbs up. And if you don't know about us on iTunes, look us up on iTunes, leave us a rating, leave us a comment. Honestly, we do read every comment. We may not respond to every comment, but we do read every comment, and it helps build the show and make it a better thing. So please, leave us a response on iTunes, leave us a response on YouTube, and thank you. Thank you.
Seriously,
also,
thank you.
And really randomly fun, I've been uploading a lot of the NXT Team graphics on WWE 2K16. So if you look up NXT Team, I don't know if it'll work on Xbox One. I know it'll work for PlayStation 4. If those of you on Xbox want some of those graphics to upload, hit me up on Twitter and we'll make it work so that I can upload them for you, etc.
Shout out to Joe Jagler for creating an I'm a Cathy Kelley guy shirt in the game.
Yeah, just independently. And I have that graphic is available for anybody who wants it. Just look up NXT or Cathy Kelley.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you guys again for watching. Love the NXT team, and that extends to you guys as well. You guys are the other host on our show. But until next week, since we don't know what's going on, just continue the conversation. And where can they find you?
I am at True Hobo on Twitter. ProWrestlingTees.com/Hobo is a place where you could buy shirts, but I don't recommend it. Instead, go to NXT.Spreadshirt.com and you can get this sweet deal right here, or the Boxcar Club shirt.
That was really popular.
That is really hot right now.
Seriously, not even joking, Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
New Japan's Rocky Romero asked me personally to get one. Asked you personally to get one. They're flying off the shelves, people. So
They're
you do
gonna
yourself.
Be in Japan.
I wouldn't be
big in
surprised.
Japan.
He's pretty big. He's pretty big. So follow him at True Hobo. Follow me at Soapbox Mark. NXTteam.Spreadshirt.com. We're adding more stuff. I'm gonna put up a new shirt pretty soon because I got a pretty good idea for one that'll piss off a lot of the people who comment on Raw. So make sure follow me on Twitter at Soapbox Mark for the 2K16 stuff. I've got a review for Hot Pepper Gaming coming out either this next Monday or the Monday after I review Star Wars Battlefront. We're doing a Star Wars show on Friday to review the movie. Catherine Kelley.
You can find me on the Twitter at Catherine Kelley, on Instagram at Cathy Kelley. Always talking about cupcakes and developmental, so support me on Raw doing that. Also, if you guys have the SiriusXM app or SiriusXM, check out Monday's Conversations with Maria on Stars. She invited me on to talk to her and Chris Jericho. We talked about Star Wars and that and whatever else, and it was awesome. So cool to be in the same room as two people that I look up to so much. But do that. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Breaking Ground at 6.
Breaking Ground at 6. We'll see you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.